What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm going to talk about my review of the new Disney Plus movie, The Naughty Nine. Okay, so there was stuff to like in this movie. There was also a lot of stuff not to like. Um, Stuff to like. Okay, so this is a movie about nine kids who were on Santa's naughty list and they didn't get their presents for Christmas. So they decide to go to the North Pole and commit a heist to get the presents that were promised to them by Santa and get out of the North Pole undetected and with their presents. This movie had some laughs in it. There was a lot of charming moments. The characters themselves, these nine kids, were all charming kids. Their actors, their acting was pretty good for kid acting, and there was some exciting moments, especially once you got to the North Pole heist. There was some exciting moments. There was even a chase scene near the end of the movie that I very much enjoyed. There's a great message at the end of this film about choices that we make and how your choices can actually impact other people, how you as a person can impact how the type of people that other people can become, that you have some influence over. Definitely a good message here. So like I said, good message, some exciting moments, some funny moments, some good kid acting. So it sounds like I'm very glowing on this movie. All right. It's also, first of all, it's a little bit long. I felt that they really took their time to get to the North Pole, because when they got to the North Pole, that was when the movie really started to get good for me. And they took their time getting there. This is in every single way that we talk about check the box storytelling by Disney. It's completely check the box storytelling. Every race is represented, every sexual orientation is represented. There's some stunt casting that is happening here. And on an island, none of those things are bad things. The problem is that Disney has gotten to this level of predictability where you know that they're going to make sure that they check all the boxes. And the problem is that we're at a point where it is coming off as very unauthentic. They're trying to represent what America looks like, right? They're trying to represent the diversity of America, and they're trying to represent who we are as a people. The problem is that none of it is authentic. It all feels very unauthentic, and you can't have representation if it comes off as unauthentic. If it comes off as, okay, we check that box. Okay, we check that box. We check that box. Yep, gay people. Yep, got that. Okay, make sure we have our white people, our black people, our Asian people, make sure that they're all represented. Okay, we got that. It just, like I said, it feels very unauthentic. And like I said, on an island, none of that is bad. I've always said I think representation is a good thing in film. But the problem is that companies like Disney, to hit their DEI scores, they've gotten away from making it feel authentic. And we're at a point where it's a little cringe and eye rolling because it's just so forced now. And maybe it's just the time that we're living in where we've become very aware of what they're trying to do. If this movie had come out in the 80s, the exact same movie, I might not even have recognized it. But it's so in the public conversation now. And it's, as consumers, we're so aware of the fact that Disney's doing and other big corporations are doing these check the boxes storytelling, that it's just feeling very unauthentic and very cringy. That being said, I enjoyed this movie. I did. Here's the thing. I don't think it's a particularly good movie. Like, it's nowhere, it's not going to be in like my top 10 or even my top 25 movies of the year. Like, not even close. But I enjoyed it. It was a fun adventure with kids, with a great message. It just was cringy. It was cringy. I wish that Disney would get away from forced diversity and just have diversity. And I don't know. I don't know what kind of process that would be. And maybe a lot of that comes to perspective of the viewer. I don't know. But I know that Disney's been doing this a lot for the past couple of years, and it just hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. And I'm not the only person talking about this online. I think I'm one of the nicer people talking about online. You know, I celebrate. Here's the thing. I celebrate what they're trying to do. I just think that they're doing it poorly. I think they're doing it poorly. So yeah, Naughty Nine. If you have kids, teenagers, young teenagers, you know, 13, 12, 13, 14, I think there's enjoyment to be had here. This is not a movie I'll ever need to revisit, even though I enjoyed it. I never need to revisit it. It just wasn't good enough to revisit. It's not a Christmas classic. It's a nice way to spend a couple hours with your young teenager. It's disposable. It's something that you'll forget about, but it's harmless. It's also without imagination. And I say that so it sounds very hypocritical to say that because I enjoyed it, but it's just, it's very corporate. It's a very corporate movie. You can tell that this was, the decisions made in this movie was decisions made by men in a boardroom wearing suits. You know, it's that type of movie. It feels very corporate. It's a product that is meant to be consumed, not enjoyed as art. So that's my take on the 99. If I'm leaning positive or negative, slightly positive on this one. Not neutral, not negative, slightly positive. But I've already started to forget about it. All right, guys. Have you watched The Naughty Nine? If you have, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below.